Hey everyone, and welcome to the video. I'm Sally, and today I'm going to be taking you along to make some of the best oatmeal pancakes. Super simple, beginner-friendly recipe. It's completely gluten-free, free of refined sugars, and free of refined oils. Plus, it keeps really well in the fridge, so you can make it ahead of time and have pancakes for the week ahead. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. First things first, we're gonna grab our oats. Clearly, I have a lot of them. We're measuring out 2 cups and we're just gonna put them in a blender. Because my blender is so small, I divide the recipe up in the video by blending the dry ingredients or combining the dry ingredients and then doing the liquid ingredients. But if you have a large or regular sized blender, you'll need to blend the oats up first, but then you can just add everything else in right on top, so it will be even simpler. Once your oats are blended, just add them to a large mixing bowl and we're gonna set that to the side. So now in the same blender, we're gonna combine 1 egg with 1 cup of milk of choice. Again, I'm using oat milk, 1 to 2 tablespoons of maple syrup, there we go. And I use 2 tablespoons of my homemade apple butter. You can absolutely do this with applesauce. It still tastes wonderful, but the first time I made it was with apple butter and it definitely takes it to the next level. So I guess I add 2 heaping tablespoons and I do this every time. I say 2 tablespoons, but it ends up being closer to a 1/4 cup. So somewhere in there will be just fine. But you saw about how much I put in. So now I'm putting that lid on. We're gonna throw that back on the blender. Get it all nice and combined. We're adding our dry ingredients to the oat flour. So we're adding about a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, adding a full teaspoon of cinnamon here. Next, we're adding 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and we're adding 1 tablespoon of baking powder. Pro tip with baking powder, you definitely want to get the name brand because every time I bought the store brand, it gets all clumpy and you can taste it in your baked goods. But now all we're gonna do is whisk up those dry ingredients. Make sure they are nice and combined, again, to prevent any clumps from ending up in your pancakes. So then we're adding our liquid ingredients, and once again, we're gonna give it a nice whisk. Be gentle with it because you don't want it to go flat, but I have found this to be a pretty resilient batter, so I do choose to use a whisk and combine it until there are not really any clumps left. We're gonna melt some butter over a cast iron skillet. This is always my preferred method because it gets nice crispy edges. And then we're scooping some of our batter just onto the skillet once we know that butter is hot, and it's going to give us a nice sizzle. I think y'all know the drill at this point, but we're just gonna cook those pancakes until we see some little holes in them. We're gonna give them a flip. And you'll notice with these, they do get a little bit brown and crispy, and even there's some spots there that on the camera they look black. They're not burnt, they're just a little bit crispy, and oh my gosh, so good. My favorite way to serve these is with just a little drizzle of honey, and if I have any bananas on hand, I'll cut up 1/2 of one usually and add that as well. But y'all, that's really it. Again, this pancake batter is super easy to make ahead of time. Sometimes you just need to add a little bit of water to loosen it up before you cook them on a later day. And they're so delicious, they make me do a happy dance. So y'all, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what else you would be interested in seeing, and I hope you try the recipe.